Ice Cube entered the world on June 15th, 1969, in Westmont, a stretch of south-central Los Angeles, where streetlights hummed above cracked pavement and families learned to live with the uneasy quiet that settled after every siren faded. His father, Hosea Jackson, returned home each night from working the grounds at UCLA, with tired steps and steady pride, while his mother, Doris, came off long hospital shifts with a love sharpened by fear of the neighborhood outside their door. Money was always thin, but they held their home together with discipline and determination. Ice Cube grew up beside his brother Clyde and a line of artistic relatives like Del the Funky, Homo Sapien, and Cam. Yet even creativity couldn't shield him from the moment that cleaved his childhood in two. At just 12, he faced the sudden death of his teenage sister Beverly, a loss that froze his mother where she stood, and sent his father into a quiet so deep it seemed to swallow the walls around them. At the funeral, Cube stood on the sidewalk with his hands tucked in his pockets, watching the procession pull away as something inside him dropped into a place he knew he could never reach again. The house in the weeks that followed felt colder, as though grief itself had pulled up a chair at the table. From that moment on, he walked through South Central with a different awareness, one shaped by the knowledge that life could disappear without warning. He drifted through school feeling detached, carrying an ache no one could see. But around 14, writing found him almost by accident when a friend challenged him to put a few lines on paper. The words came heavy, sharp, and startlingly true, as if they had been buried behind his ribs, waiting for release. He wrote late into the night, under a dim bulb, discovering that each verse eased a pressure he didn't know how to speak aloud. By the time he reached 17, he was balancing two worlds, riding a bus from South Central to Taft High School in Woodland Hills, feeling the strange divide between polished hallways and the fractured streets he came from. He tried pursuing stability by studying architectural drafting at the Phoenix Institute of Technology in 1987, excelling academically. But a year later, he stepped away, realizing no blueprint could rebuild what lived inside him. Music, not structure, was where he belonged. He returned to Los Angeles and formed CIA with his cousin Sir Jinx, performing at backyard parties where Dr. Dre handled the turntables. At 16, he sold Boys and the Hood to Eazy-E, a moment that shifted everything. N.W.A. made him a force in 1988, but contracts led to his departure in 1989, and he proved his own power with AmeriKKK's Most Wanted in 1990 and The Predator in 1992, which sold over 2 million copies. His success stormed into Hollywood with Boys in the Hood in 1991 and Friday in 1995, then into business with the Big 3 League in 2017. Today at 56, worth over $160 million, living between Marina del Rey, glass walls, and his 8,000 SQFT. Encino Estate, Ice Cube stands as a man shaped by loss, anchored by Kimberly Woodruff since 1992, and grounded by 5 children who became the quiet heart of his entire life. A testament to surviving storms no spotlight ever sees.